This is Geek News Central. My name is Todd Cochran, coming to you from the new media production studio. And the stories tonight: Google says vaccinated or get out. Spotify says they have no editorial responsibility over podcast. 16 free websites to learn code. And Twitter and others reverse plans on office openings. I want to welcome you to episode 1544 of the Geek News Central podcast for Thursday, July 29th. This show is sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com and listeners just like you. Great deals from GoDaddy can be found at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. You can support the show today at geeknewscentral.com/insider. Hey, I want to give a warm welcome to all the new listeners. Make sure you get over to geeknewscentral.com. Check out all the great content on the website when you're over there. Definitely subscribe to the podcast. That gets you started to be part of the family here. And, of course, you can subscribe to the newsletter while you're on the website as well. Definitely do that over at geeknewscentral.com. And where all the magic happens, make sure you read all the contents being put out by my content creators as well. Of course, any of you can join our chat room at geeknews.chat or our Discord chat service. Those links are in the show notes. And, of course, today we're streaming on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube Live. And we've had some problems on Facebook recently of it basically having some, I don't know what it is. It's not doing well. So we're on YouTube. So don't forget about live.geeknewscentral.com as well as where you can pick up the YouTube stream if the Facebook stream starts acting up. Of course, you can contact me via email, geeknews@gmail.com, geeknews@gmail.com, on Twitter as well at Geek News. You can follow me on Facebook. All the partner shows are linked at geeknewscentral.com. That includes the new media show, the Gadget Professor with Mr. Don Bain, and Core Kirk with the GNC Week in Review. So get over there and listen to those three shows. And of course, I'm going to be out next week, so great opportunity to check the other podcasts out if you haven't done so already. Of course, this show is sponsored by the longest-running continuous sponsor of a podcast, and that's our good friends over at GoDaddy.com. We want you to save money by going over to geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. Save those dollars. Save those dollars and cents because you just don't know what's going to happen, all right? We need to have you set up an epidemic-proof business. So that's one of the reasons I'm going to be talking about a coding site tonight, to teach yourself coding. So there's lots of opportunities online. Build yourself a digital economy. Build yourself a business online. Don't be affected by the actual real world. Make sure you get online. That's where everyone's at when we're all in lockdowns or whatever. But you can get 30% off new product purchases there, or $4.99.coms on new or transfer domains for new customers only. Of course, there's the $1 a month economy hosting for the first year and the $1 a month managed WordPress hosting for the first year with a free domain on each of those offers. That is the best deal. The best deal available in the absolute known universe for hosting, for web hosting. $1 a month for the first year. Get you going with a free domain, $1 a month managed WordPress hosting. Of course, those of you, the business owners out there, maybe trying to revamp things a little bit, maybe look at the free trial of GoDaddy website builder, your choice of personal, business, or business plus plans. There's a 1-month free trial on that. Again, we want to thank GoDaddy for being a longtime sponsor here of the show, and hope everyone's doing well. And I want to remind you, this is the last show of the month. That means in 2 days is the day of reckoning for me when it comes to my GoDaddy performance. So really, sometimes I know where I'm at. Sometimes I don't know where I'm at. This month, I really don't know. So you can make a difference. Got 2 days left. Really, Saturday afternoon, put that order in. Use one of my promo codes. Sign up for service as a new customer if you haven't got an account already, and hook the show up. It's just like writing a check, or recommend this to your family, friends, people that you know, people that you think may have an opportunity to start something online. Remember, life is beyond Facebook. It's beyond TikTok. It's beyond Instagram. There's other things out there. There's other websites that you can go to as proof when I do this show, and we cover a lot of sites. talking about a lot of different things. So get out there and get signed up, get yourself an account set up at GoDaddy. Use one of my promo codes, save big money, help the show. It's greatly appreciated when you do. All right, everybody, how you doing? How you doing? This kind of a weird week for me. Absolute insomnia last night. I had when I finally did fall asleep, it felt like the alarm clock rang almost immediately thereafter. But what it really was, thunderstorm came blasting through, so that woke me up. But yeah, it's just a thing. Once in a while, this happens. Brain doesn't want to shut down. It's preparing for Nashville, getting ready to go to podcast movement is part of it. But I do want to make a clarification on something I said on the show, because a few of you have been ribbing me. Michael Dare. Jack has been ribbing me a little bit, sent me a text today. I mistakenly said that I was using lipstick, pink lipstick, on what I thought were bites. And no, I was using pink nail polish. So it wasn't lipstick to seal the bites. It was nail polish. And yes, it was pink. Now, I have since gotten clear, but I have since given up on doing the painting thing. It just, it wasn't it. So again, we're back at the drawing board. I have a little bit of a theory on some things that are going on, but still battling this itching issue. But I will tell you one thing: I've learned what near scalding showers can do to get major relief for 5 or 6 hours. It's amazing how you can overload the nervous system of the body, and then go on to have a decent day. And then about this time of the day, things start to act up again. But anyway, also, I don't know how I did it. So I was not, because I have had my head down, getting ready for Nashville. I haven't been watching chat. I haven't been watching text. As a matter of fact, I've been having problems with mobile at home because I've switched to T-Mobile. And finally, I kind of checked my phone and checked the chat channel and say, hey, dude, the last episode was wrong. I got the previous show. So I fixed it. It should have, over the last 24 hours, replicated out, and everyone should have got the last show. The last show was fantastic, so I hope you go back and listen to it. But I blew it, and somehow, and in all honesty, I have no idea how I did it, because I checked the server where this gets uploaded to, and the episodes were not there. I had to come in the office and grab them out of the desktop and upload them. So something happened. So there is, Monday's show is up. It should replicate through, and you should be able to pick it up now, and it should play correctly. So I've done this a couple of times over the years. I don't know really what happened the other night, to be kind of honest with you. So anyways, that's what's going on here. See, for those of you watching, I got some different backgrounds up tonight. Thought I would switch it up, advertise the other shows I'm involved in. But anyway, this is lots to do to prepare to roll out. And I think tonight I'll sleep like a baby, because I surely did not last night. But okay, let's go ahead and get into the stack. And I'm sure at some point here, some of you are going to come after me again. But I'm concerned. And here's what I'm concerned about. And it starts out with an article about Google. Google reads the room, tells workers to get their COVID-19 shots. Now, when I read that, I thought, what are they doing? Are they doing something with tech? But no. Sundar Pichai, Google's and Alphabet CEO, has had enough. Yesterday, he told his workforce in the world that anyone coming to work on our campuses will need to be vaccinated, period. So they're taking marching orders from Uncle Sam for government asking companies to put the hammer down. And this is the comment that really wowed me. Sure, Most Google employees are bright enough to have already gotten a COVID-19 shot. Google doesn't hire dummies. Really? That's what he said? Now, I'm going to share with you something I know. I know people who are working in high-level jobs at high-level companies that have mandated that they have to have a vaccine to come to work who have got fake vaccine cards. I've been told this by those very individuals. And they come to work and they show their card. Yep, I'm vaccinated. Put them down as vaccinated. Don't know if there's some sort of validation system that's going on out there. But when you have a campaign to ostracize those that have not gotten the vaccine and made a personal decision not to get a vaccine. So I have some friends in New York who are telling me that's going on the same thing. That their companies have said, don't come to work if you don't have you can't come to work if you don't have a vaccine. That puts people between a rock and a hard place that don't want to get the vaccine. I personally know, at least 10 teachers that have said there's no way they're getting the vaccine. I know health officials, nurses, and doctors that said, no way, I'm not getting the vaccine. These are not uneducated, as everyone wants to imply. Because when the CEO of Google and Alphabet say that Google employees are bright enough to already gotten a COVID-19 shot, and that Google doesn't hire dummies, isn't that interesting? Now, you know that the vaccinated are not immune from getting Delta. And you know that the vaccinated are not immune from being hospitalized. So it's an interesting dialogue that's happening now. And it's just really interesting. As a company owner, there's no way I would tell my employees, you have to get the vaccine. There's no way I would do that. To me, that's a personal decision. That's a HIPAA decision. That's a HIPAA thing. So, what do you guys think? I know there's a number of you that listen to the show that haven't gotten the shot. So, what are you doing? You going online getting a fake vaccine card? Are you being pressured into getting the vaccine? Are you telling people that you haven't got the vaccine? That's interesting, isn't it? The interesting times we live in. When in the military, I had no choice. I was told what I was going to get, and I got everything. I think I've told you guys this many times. I even got anthrax. 5-shot series of anthrax. I'm still here. I don't know if there's anything wrong with me, but thousands and tens of thousands of my fellow military guys got anthrax shots. Actually, it was the first attack on the trade towers, which started to prompt that. So, anyway, I just think we'll see what happens here. And the ostracizing of those, and I don't think this is political anymore. I don't think this is a Republican, Democrat thing. I think people across the board have chosen on all political spectrums, all geo, all, how much money you make, your I think on across the spectrum for a variety of reasons, decide one reason or another to get or not get. I'm not here to judge, but it's interesting to hear how all of a sudden, when the government tells companies, you have to start telling your employees to get vaccinated and mandating this because we can't do it, but you can. And these companies are picking up the charge and doing that. It's a little disturbing to me. Just maybe I need to start maybe I should be a libertarian. I don't know. I guess I have to look the definition of a libertarian up. So hang on a second here. I'm getting a okay. Sorry, I'm getting a message I have to respond to here. So anyway, moving on. Spotify CEO doesn't believe the platform doesn't have editorial responsibility over podcast. And it's interesting that he says this because it's well known that Spotify kicks shows out all the time for a variety of reasons. Maybe it's after they've been reported or something to that effect. But he just says that he doesn't think the company has responsibility. I'll see here. He says in this, I'm trying to give you guys a Reader's Digest version of this. He said Joe Rogan podcast has become one of the most listened to shows on Spotify since the platform added to its lineup last year. It's also become one of the most controversial due to Rogan's choice of guests and his own views. Spotify doesn't have any plans or anything about it, though, because the company CEO doesn't believe the platform should have any say on podcasters' content. When Axios asked Spotify CEO in an interview whether the company should have editorial responsibility over podcasts like Rogan's, his response was that Rogan is just one of its many content creators. He may be just one of them, but he's also one of the most well-paid. Ake responded, however, rappers earn tens of millions of dollars from the platform, but Spotify doesn't dictate what they can put in their songs either, which is true. And of course, we know Rogan signed a $100 million deal with the audio streaming service in May 2020. So we know that Spotify employees expressed concerns. Oh, Jesus, they're driving me crazy. Let me turn this off. But Spotify does do removals of shows for a variety of reasons. So they must respond when someone complains versus doing editorial stuff over the shows. Moving on, 16 free websites for learning to code in 2021. The best free online coding websites for beginners are hubs of education, insight, designed to take your knowledge and career to the next level. So coding skills are in high demand. Coding knowledge is becoming more versatile. People with coding talent can earn more. And there's a bunch of sites out there. Bit Degree is one. Code Academy, we've talked about that before. Code Wars, Code.org, Free Code Camp, Code Conquest, W3 Schools, Code Avengers. Here's what I'm going to suggest. If you're a parent and you've got a high schooler that maybe once again having to go to homeschool from home, cut them loose on one of these websites. Or even better yet, if you're still working at home and get to stay at home, you've got extra hours, maybe it's time to learn how to code. Maybe it's time to give it a try. I think it's worthy of someone's extra time to consider this. Even if it's nothing more than learning about CSS, HTML, PHP, SQL, JavaScript, jQuery, If you just get the basics of CSS and HTML and PHP down, you're pretty valuable. Tie that into some Amazon Web Services knowledge on how to run servers, and that time be an IT person type of position. So this is a great resource for you to get ahead. And maybe you wanted to do code, or maybe you just wanted to play around. These are free resources. And there's just a bunch of them here. I'm going through this stuff, sites I've never seen before. Again, 16 different sites. And remember, MIT has OpenCourseWare as well. So if you have some math skills, minor math skills, if you think logically, then you're probably a pretty good candidate to try to write some code. If nothing else, play around. So I have a link in the show notes, of course. Twitter is closing its San Francisco and New York offices amid climbing COVID-19 cases. The social network is pausing its plans. After careful consideration, CDC's updated guidelines, in light of current conditions, Twitter has made the decision to close our opened offices in New York and San Francisco, as well as pause future office openings effective immediately. So Apple, Facebook, Twitter, Netflix, and Uber are also updating their COVID-19 protocols. So again, these big companies are letting parents and workers stay home. And if school's going to close, if they're not going to, because the head of the labor union, the teachers' labor union, have said they don't know if they're going to allow their teachers to go back to work in the fall. And I'm sure some of you that have kids at home are like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me again. But I think it's time that remote learning be really looked at. Well, if remote learning is going to be the way to go, then really what we need to do is we need to get some superstar teachers and do mass education. Have people to check work and all that, but have superstar teachers that are the top in their fields. Why teach 30 kids when you can teach 3,000? So I don't know. Do you guys think that would work? Or how about 3,000, 30,000, or 3 million? What if we had one superstar teacher that was teaching math, was teaching Algebra 1, and they had 3 million people tune in for those lessons? How about 30 million? Where's the limit? Why not, right? The Ford Mustang Mach-E has honored amazing women Air Force service pilots. The brave women of the WASP made huge contributions to Allied effort in World War II, and Ford has decked out a Mustang Mach-E specifically for them. And the Mach-E is the latest creation of the Blue Oval, a special edition of the electric SUV that honors the women Air Force service pilots. So I don't know if they're selling this as just a one-off, or if this is an actual color scheme you can buy. It's pretty nice. It really is. So link will be up in the show. And they even tricked it out inside. It looks sweet. My goodness. If I was in the market for a sports car, I think I would go after a Mach-E. I think I would. The Mustang version of the electric vehicle is pretty impressive. But I'm not buying a car anytime soon. I've got one to drive the wheels into the ground on. But I'm doing a pretty good job on it. All right, it's that time again. Every new movie and show on Netflix for August. Yes, it's almost August. We've got 7 seasons of 30 Rock coming your way in August on Netflix. Beethoven's up. Good Luck, Chuck. The Losers, The Machinists. My Girl 2. These are just some of the stuff that's launching August 1st, and there's just stuff all the way through the month being pumped out. So if you're looking for some new movies to watch on Netflix, they're coming here in a few days. Samsung's reporting a 34% jump in quarter two profits, bets on foldables to boost smartphone profits. Despite decreased demand, Samsung's mobile profitability remains solid in quarter two. And they had operating profit increase 54% year over year thanks to solid chip sales as well. So, good on Samsung. Sales in Asia remain weak because those countries are largely locked down. Thailand's locked down. Vietnam's locked down. Philippines is locked down. All these these countries are not getting vaccines into the country at all, or very few numbers, and they are just basically in the same state they were last year, or sometimes even worse. So, anyway, link will be up in the show notes on that. Facebook says it's trying to strike a balance as it battles misinformation. This is interesting. They say they don't want to become the absolute truth police. Facebook's Vice President of Global Affairs, Nick Clegg, says the social network is trying to balance concerns about free expression, even if it faces more political pressure to combat misinformation about the coronavirus. In a pre-recorded interview that aired Thursday, Clegg outlined the steps Facebook has taken to address the problem, including working with fact-checkers, directing people to authoritative sources, and blocking some content. But he also said that he doesn't think anyone would want a Silicon Valley company to be the absolute truth police. Absolutely. Clegg, the UK's former deputy prime minister, was participating in a monthly virtual series called Reimagining American Democracy from Freedom House, the Bush Institute, Issue 1 in the National Center of Civil and Human Rights. It says we cannot eliminate people's right in a free society to express reservations about how the pandemic has been conducted, or at least, by the way, because scientific consensus change. He said Facebook used to remove claims that the coronavirus was human-made, but stopped doing that. So after the U.S. intelligence community started delving deeper into the origins, Facebook has faced more backlash because it struggled to stop coronavirus misinformation from spreading. U.S. President Joe Biden has been pressing the company to do more to combat the problem, and critics say Facebook's effort to address this issue is still falling short. Facebook said it will remove coronavirus vaccine information when public health authorities conclude it's likely to contribute to imminent harm. That includes claims that COVID-19 vaccines contain toxic ingredients or were untested. Doesn't say anything about being approved. While Clegg acknowledges Facebook can do more, he also pointed out the downsides of pulling down too much content. And of course, there's lawmakers are looking to change Section 230 to basically go after Facebook and companies like that for not removing what the government considers to be misinformation. So again, there's this balance, ladies and gentlemen. We, the people, have the right to criticize our government, and we have the right to criticize companies' policies upon what they do. It's our right to question and ask and probe and wonder and speculate. It's our right to do that, and we should. We should not be, we shouldn't be sheep and just do everything the government says we should do without questioning it. After all, everyone that's a politician puts their pants on the same way you and I do. They step up to the throne the same way we do. They sit down at a table and eat the way they do. They're not special. They're not entities. They're not gods. They're just people, just like you and I. And we are allowed to question them. This is not a dictatorship. There's no king in this country. There's no absolute rule. And thank God there is podcasts and there is people that can speak as they please. And you can have your own website, and you can state things as you wish, potentially with consequences. But at least we have the ability to do that. Freedom of speech, freedom of expression is a big thing. We have to remember that. And very tough. I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't want to be in Facebook's position right now. As Liz says in the chat, fact check, fact check, fact check. Do your own research. Okay. More than 120,000 Ford F-150 Lightning reservations are on the books. About 3/4 of those reservations are customers new to the Ford brand. I hope that includes a lot of Chevy drivers. I really do. You guys that are on Chevy vehicles, you need to take a look at this Ford F-150. And you Toyota drivers, you need to look at this Ford F-150 Lightning. You like these electric vehicles, you need to get on the reservation list. Now, Louis Vuitton, oh my gosh. Did we cover this already? Louis Vuitton is making a mobile game with an embedded NFTs. Why is Louis Vuitton making a game, a fashion game? Louis Vuitton is jumping on the bandwagon, releasing a mobile video game to celebrate its founder's 200th birthday. Louis, the game, stars the fashion house mascot Vivini, a wooden doll embellished with the company's flower insignia on a journey through the brand's history, reports an Austrian newspaper. This is a brand that has more money that you all have spent on their bags and everything. We get so wrapped around brand stuff, don't we? There is a great post. And this is actually a first time we've linked to a YouTube video in a long time. And this comes from ABC7 in the News Bay area. Listen to this. Listen to this, you Albert Einstein fans. Stanford astronomers discover light from, listen to this, Stanford astronomers discover light from back of black hole, from the back of a black hole for the first time. We know that light goes in and doesn't come out, right? Well, not necessarily now. So Einstein has been proven right again. And they saw a reflection, right place, right time, right telescopes, looking at the right black hole, right area of space, and they saw a reflection. And it's a 2-minute watch. I'm sure there's going to be more stuff out about this, but I'll have this link up in the show notes. So here we are, science being made right before our ears. Google is going to ban sugar daddy apps from the Play Store. From September 1, the App Store will prohibit facilitating sugar daddy services, often involving older men offering cash and gifts in exchange for a relationship with a younger woman. Critics say they differ little from prostitution, though the exchange does not always involve sex. Okay, whatever. But anyway, all the sugar daddy apps are going away off the Google Play Store. So they'll have to revert to their online places where they were before, I guess. So, is that really a thing? People with too much money on their hands. Motorola debuts Edge 20 flagship globally with fast refresh screens and 108 megapixel camera. So these Motorola phones are out, and Motorola's keeping its return to flagship devices running. It's continuing to spool them out. So anyway, they're priced in about the $700 to about $830 range. So link will be up in the show notes. Of course, yes, these are Android devices. So this is an interesting move. Scarlett Johansson is suing Disney over Black Widow's streaming release. The lawsuit alleged she was promised an exclusive theatrical debut. And you know what this is about, right? It's about cash. Because actors and actresses are paid in these lead roles, paid percentages of gross box office revenue. They get points on how much the movie makes. The suit filed Thursday in Los Angeles Superior Court alleges Johnson's contract with Marvel Entertainment, which is owned by Disney, ensured a wide theatrical release of the film. The suit says it was well understood that the agreement meant an exclusive release that would not include streaming. Jonathan's salary was in part based on the box office performance of the film, meaning the streaming offer could meaningfully cut into her paycheck. Disney knew the cannibalization by Disney Plus would save Marvel and, by extension, Disney very large amounts of money that it would otherwise owe. Miss Johnson lawsuit alleges on information and belief Disney intentionally induced Marvel's breach of the agreement without justification in order to prevent Miss Johnson from realizing the full benefits of the bargain with Marvel. She could lose $50 million because of the altered release plans. I would sue too. She is well within her right to do that. So we'll see where this goes. I think a lot of actors are going to be rethinking their contracts going forward, because if they're going to release them digitally and not in theaters because of COVID, because of the likelihood of going back into lockdown again, then, they should get rightfully compensated. If they knew they were going to make so much money on a box office release, if there was an expectation put forth on previous releases and previous movies, and then, boom, they do it digitally, and they clean up digitally, but they don't in the box office, then that specific revenue is lost to her. So good luck with her. Anytime you stick it to the studios, I think it's good. Anytime the talent gets paid is good. Windows 11 now has its first beta release. You've previously only been able to install the rougher dev build, but it is now available. So this is awesome. Microsoft has released the first beta of Windows 11 available to those enrolled in the Windows Insider program. Until today, getting access to Windows 11 meant installing a dev view. Microsoft says it is for highly technical user. It has rough edges. According to Microsoft, the beta release is less volatile. With builds being validated by Microsoft through, it's probably something you'll want to install on a test machine or a second partition. So get her done. Peacock has reached 54 million signups, set to begin international rollout on Sky platform. So that's a pretty big number since April 2020. It generated more than 20 million monthly active users for the quarter. I am not signed up for this service. So are you guys finding anything on Peacock worthwhile of watching? Let me know if you are. If there's something valid over there worth getting a monthly subscription, I'd be willing to take a look at it. LinkedIn is allowing employees to work fully remote and removes in-office expectation as well. So the new policy has shifted from the initial indication that last October that Microsoft's professional social network site would expect employees to work 50% of the time in the office. But this is a little bit about Delta. So people getting a reprieve of having to go back to the office. Upcoming Android privacy changes include ability to blank advertising ID and safety section in the Play Store. So the advertising ID, of course, is an identifier unique to an Android device, which is supplied by Google Play Services. Since every app on the device can retrieve the same ID, it can be used for profiling user. Users can set an option to limit ad tracking, and the API that supplies the advertising ID also indicates whenever the user has opted out, but respecting this option is on a trust basis. Privacy advocate Max Skremmens filed a legal complaint against Google last year, arguing that advertising ID is personal data, which I believe so as well, and the option to reset it, which automatically creates a replacement ID, was like canceling a contract only under the condition that you sign up for a new one. Why supply the advertising ID at all if the user wishes to limit ad tracking? Google accepted this idea, and Director of Product Management, Krish Vitavera, posted that when users opt out of interest-based advertising or ads personalization, their advertising ID will be removed and replaced with a string of zeros. Hooray. So, link will be up in the show notes for details on that. Robinhood CEO plans for the future. Sounds a lot like a bank. He says he wants a trading platform to become the single money app people need. He didn't use the bank, but his description sounds like it. He says, over time, we want to be the single money app, the most trusted, most culturally relevant money app worldwide. So everything that you use for your money for should be able to do through Robinhood. By the way, did anybody get to buy any Robinhood shares as they promised during their during their debut. I thought they were promising the Robinhood users they would be able to buy some shares. I don't think that happened, or if I did, I missed the email. I have one share of some stock that Robinhood bought for me when I tried the app one time. All right, Amazon has announced second quarter results. Operating cash flow of increased 16% to $59.3 billion for the trailing 12 months. Free cash flow decreased to $12.1 billion for the trailing 12 months. Free cash flow less principal repayments of finance leases and financial obligations decreased $0.6 billion. So let me look here. Net sales decreased 27% to $113.1 billion in the second quarter compared to $88.9 in the second quarter of 2020. Oh, increased 27%, excuse me, excluding $2.5 billion favorable impact from year-over-year changes in foreign exchange rates throughout the quarter. Net sales increased 24% compared with the second quarter of 2020. Operating income increased $7.7 billion. Net income increased to $7.8 billion in the second quarter, or 15.12 cents per diluted share, compared to $5.2 billion or 10.30 diluted in the second quarter. So they've cleaned up. Money, 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 money. They've done very well. Amazon's done very well during the pandemic, as we all know. National Oceanographic Administration has discovered a real-life SpongeBob and Patrick Star deep in the Atlantic. So they found a real SpongeBob at the bottom of a reef at 1,885 meters. So, anyway, they've got a SpongeBob. Oh. This next article. Okay, this is a 15-minute and 57-second video, but for those of you that have ever stacked a Lego in your life, not a Lego, a domino, excuse me. Any of you have ever stacked a domino in your life will want to watch this. A robot arranges 100,000 dominoes into a Super Mario Brothers Merle in one day. The robot is fed dominoes by another robot. It's a world record domino robot, laid 100,000 dominoes in 24 hours. The robot, named the Dominator, achieved this by putting down 300 dominoes at a time, which are, of course, loaded into it by another robot. Robber says in a video that the current version of the Dominator is the culmination of years of work from him and his team, and he goes into how the device actually works, as well as showing some of the failed designs that led to the final product. And what people will do for millions of views on YouTube, and they've knocked it out of the ballpark with this one. So domino laying will never be the same again. So I'll have you guys check this out. It's going to make for a lot of great videos, I am sure. But 100,000 dominoes, it would have took 7 people a week to put together if they didn't knock any over. This thing did it flawlessly in 24 hours. Bang & Olufsen has launched its first pair of noise-canceling true wireless earbuds. Of course, they're not a cheap brand. They're going to be on sale for $399 as pounds. No, $399 US dollars. So shouldn't come as a surprise there. But they are a very high-end brand. So check that out. Tesla update adds Disney Plus and streaming and in a car wash mode. So Tesla's adding another popular streaming service to its in-car infotainment system. As part of its latest software update, you can now watch Disney Plus when you have some downtime during charging. Tesla's theater mode already offers Netflix, Disney-owned Hulu, YouTube, and Twitch. All it's missing is HBO Max, Peacock, and Paramount Plus before it can call itself a true video hub. A Tesla owner shared screenshots of the update. Then a highlight is the car wash mode that secures the vehicle for a scrub down. Once activated, it can close or disable everything from the windows to wipers to Sentry mode in the parking center chimes. For car washes with conveyor belts, the mode can switch to free roll option to neutral to prevent the car from auto braking if you leave. So you Tesla owners have gotten an update. Be aware of that. Apple will now begin to use facial recognition to validate ID cards stored in the Wallet app. So they announced this at WWDC. And but anyway, they're using a form of facial recognition as a way to validate an ID that goes into your wallet. So we'll see where this goes. When the Department of Justice seizes Bitcoin, where do they put it? Do they put it on a hard drive? They put it on a memory stick? Where does it go? Well, the DOJ has signed crypto custodian Anchorage in a $6.6 million deal. Anchorage sells institutional custody solutions for nearly 60 digital assets, including everything from Bitcoin to Zcash. So they will be depositing this seized cryptocurrency with Anchorage, the company Anchorage, to be able to securely store that and keep it backed up. That's a pretty big contract for millions of dollars of Bitcoin. Do you have an old Amazon Kindle, one of the black and white types? Well, the old Amazon Kindle devices will soon lose 3G access. Devices with no Wi-Fi won't be able to connect to the internet at all. So again, if you have an older Amazon Kindle with 3G internet, you may not be able to wirelessly access and download new content anymore. So be just fairly warned. And it covers first and second generation Kindles, as well as the Kindle DX, won't be able to connect to the internet at all. Other devices in the list are the Kindle Keyboard 3rd generation, Kindle Touch 4th, Kindle Paperweight 5th, 6th, and 7th, Kindle Voyage 7th, Kindle Oasis 8th, which have Wi-Fi, which you'll still be able to do that. But Amazon is including a code for customers to get a $50 off a new Kindle Paperwhite or Oasis, along with $15 in ebook credits. Does anybody still use Kindle devices to read? I just use my iPad. Okay. That brings me to the end. I've done okay getting through this stack. It was pretty big. With my little rant at the beginning. Where do you guys stand? Is your employer making you have a COVID vaccine and having to prove it to come back to work? Or is it, you say, yes, I've had it, you don't have to show proof of vaccine? Where's your company at in this stack? What is your company doing? If you're a company owner, what are you doing? Are you saying you have to have a vaccine before you come back to work? This is pretty different, right? There's never been anything like this before that I know of. Has there ever been a time where a shot was mandated? Has this ever happened before? Again, it's your choice. It's your body. You decide what you're going to do and the consequences thereof of doing the shot or not. I have a hypothesis about something I may share at a later date, but not now. So what say you? geeknews@gmail.com, geeknews@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your commentary on what you think. Okay, so here's the deal. I will be out next week. So you'll have the show I did Monday and this show to feast on, because the Monday show was actually the previous show for a few days because I had my head down doing other stuff. Wasn't paying attention. Bad host. Someone call me next time, all right? Ring my phone. The text message I finally got to my phone is what woke me up, that something was amiss. So anyway, it's all fixed. We won't do that again for a while. And hope you enjoyed the show. Hope it didn't get too political for you. But I just find it interesting that CEOs of company would imply their employees are dumb. That just kind of really wows me a lot. What a way to build morale. And just think about some of the employees who'll be like, "You didn't get a vaccine? Are you stupid?" It's just ostracized. And I know this doesn't fall on political lines. I know it doesn't. because I know some people's political leanings, and I know you've gotten fake COVID cards. I know. Okay? You're thinking, go do some Google searches. How are they going to validate them? That is the question. Okay. Everyone stay safe out there. Be good. Take care. I'm going to see you a week from Monday. I'll be back here in the studio a week from Monday. Meanwhile, I'll be down in Nashville, shaking hands and hanging out with fellow podcasters, and maybe wearing a mask. We might have to be wearing a mask down there. Who knows what the policy is going to be, but I'm going with masks just in case the policy changes while I'm there. So everyone take care. And I appreciate your ongoing support of the show. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of the family. Thank you for your ongoing support of the sponsors. Thank you for those of you that are insiders. I owe you. I know I owe you. Don't worry, it's coming. Thank you so much for being here and taking care of supporting the show and everything that's being done. It's been my pleasure bringing the podcast tonight. Everyone take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.